What's up, guys? We are headed to my rental property, the most recent one that I closed in December. There's a little bit of an update today, as well as a lot of contractors that are actually over there right now, so I figured it'd be a good time to get some footage. First things first, the garage door is being completely replaced. The exterior of the house has already been painted. We did get the roof replaced as part of the transaction, trying to just spruce up the house a little bit, and honestly probably spending a little bit more money than I should, but I'll get into more detail about that when we get there. We're headed there, gonna see how much work is being completed as of now, and hopes is to get this thing completed sometime in January. We're at the beginning of January, and get it rented out by the start of February. All right, so we are checking out the place. It looks like a majority of the inside's been demoed out. I actually met a couple contractors here, and the reason I'm out here right now is because the HVAC guy is out here. We're basically replacing one of the units. It was something that I negotiated within the contract. The other HVAC unit, it's about 2,600 square feet, so there's two units, a small one and a large one. We're replacing the smaller one, and then on top of that, checking out the work that's been completed. Most of the work's been completed on the exterior, meaning all the trim has been replaced, as well as the outside exterior has been painted white. Also got the garage door and motor replaced. We're doing a black garage door to kind of accent the roof that's black, as well as the white now painted exterior. No finishing work has been done because all the demo work's being done, but hopefully here in the next couple days, sheetrock will be going back up. Now, to give you guys some update on the sheetrock, basically what happened was the previous owner decided to texture the entire house with a rather significant Spanish style texture, and rather than going throughout the entire house and sanding all of that down, retexturing it, and then painting it, they just demoed all the sheetrock and are gonna lay up new sheetrock here and get that textured and painted. It's gonna be much quicker that way, rather than sitting and spending all day sanding down every single thing possible. All right, so this right here is the newer unit that we had. Actually, to be honest with you, the other unit is only a year old. So as far as HVAC units go, I'm probably not gonna have to replace either of them for the entirety of owning this property. Now, to go into a little bit more numbers for you, the garage door and motor was kind of an unexpected expense, but I wanted to have that accent anyways. Because it's a brand new door and a motor, that's running me about $2,500 to $3,000. I'm also getting a foundation company out here to address just a little bit of minor foundation work. That's gonna run me about $4,000. But the good news is when I negotiated early on with my initial contractor versus the contractor I'm using now, I saved about $7,000, and that in itself is paying for the foundation work, as well as the garage door and about 3 new windows that I'm replacing for about $500 bucks. One of the things that you guys need to probably learn from me is make sure that you don't over improve properties, or make sure that you don't spend money where you don't necessarily need to. Now, I guess probably the good side of making the kind of income that I'm making as a real estate agent, as well as my real estate company, I'm able to probably not necessarily over improve, but pay for things that otherwise people would really overlook. Now, this door right here definitely needs to get replaced. It's something that could probably still work, but for me personally, I'm all about getting my initial investment in, getting the house turnkey. That way I'm not having tenants call me in a month after moving in saying, hey, this door's falling apart and needs to be replaced. Now I've got to worry about getting something done while it's tenant occupied. For me personally, I'm gonna spend a little bit more money and just get everything taken care of. That way when I do get a tenant in, there's not gonna be any issues. finished up taking a walk of the property. It's been a few weeks. I just got back from Christmas. Just so ironically, all happening in the same day was a replacement of the garage door and motor. I went ahead and took a look at that. It looks great. The new HVAC unit is being installed. They're gonna be doing that most of today. It's a little bit more complicated than just installing an HVAC because there are two separate units. Third, the trash that has been outside since the closing, which is the prior owner's junk basically. We also got someone out to take care of that because the city or code of compliance was basically saying, hey, if you don't get it out in 24 hours, we're gonna fine you $2,000. So I made sure the agent that actually helped me purchase this on the other side got his people out to come take care of that. And demo is just about finished. Home Depot is supposed to be delivering sheetrock today. So as you can see, this is the downstairs master. The sheetrock has been demoed and new sheetrock needs to be put up. As I mentioned earlier, the reason why we took down all the sheetrock, well, first of all, it's not gonna cost me a whole ton, and it's actually going to be less labor intensive for the crew that's working here. Rather than getting rid of the Spanish style texture, we just demoed all the sheetrock and are putting up new sheetrock. Now, outside of that, there are a couple other things that needed to be addressed. Now, the kitchen has a full wall that the cabinet's backed up to. Likely what we're gonna do is we're gonna rewire the electrical there and do kind of a half wall. That way the kitchen can actually look out to the entire living room. And then there is a minor plumbing leak. We're probably gonna get rid of the copper lines that are very old school. Now what people do is they run PEX. PEX will actually be ran through the attic rather than down through the slab. Slab leaks are what cause foundation shifting, especially in the state of Texas. And that can just cause me more problems down the road, especially because I'm gonna be getting the foundation work adjusted here next week. So with that being said, the biggest thing here is we need to get the walls back up. With the walls back up, we'll go ahead and start texture and paint. Flooring is also a huge one too. I would say that's probably gonna be the biggest expense for me, just the cost of flooring, getting all new luxury vinyl plank laid down, as well as the showers and the shower floors retiled with a new, much newer in-style tile rather than a standard 6x6 or 12x12 tile that they're currently in right now. So it is January 5th now. We are about 3 weeks post-closing. Exterior work has been mostly done. There will be some tune-up and some touch-up there when I actually meet with my contractor. On the interior work, we're about 3/4 of a week into work on the interior with the expectation to probably be completed here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That means completely from head to toe. By then, moving into the end of January, maybe February, I'm hoping to get top dollar for this rental. Going back to what I was saying earlier where I was mentioning doing a little bit more work than most people will do, my hope is that I'm actually able to squeeze, especially in our market now, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is absolutely crazy when it comes to the real estate market, as well as most of the country. My hope is to get a lot of people interested in renting this place, that it actually pushes up the monthly amount. Comps in the area are looking about $2,200 to $2,400. My mortgage with 20% down is about $1,450 to $1,500. So the baseline cash flow, especially with all the work that's being done, and we're talking really no vacancy or expenses, because I've done all the work ahead of time, you're talking at least $700 to $800 in cash flow. Now my hope is to drive that $2,200, $2,400 up to maybe $2,500 or $2,600 and find a tenant that is exceptional, rather than kind of in a slower market, you're gonna have to deal with, you know, lesser ideal tenants, maybe giving a little bit when it comes to their background or credit check, and you're not gonna have a ton of people actually applying. We're in the opposite kind of rental market here. Just the housing market here is crazy. So maybe we'll see here in a month what winds up actually being the total amount of rent that I get here, but I'm excited to see how this turns out. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.